Hello everyone, Hawky here, back with another Sword of Convallaria video. So today we're looking at the Astral Imprint tier list here from Garbelius on .gg. Huge shout out to him. So yeah, let's have a look at this. So Blade of Stratagem here on the first place. So Blade of Stratagem is a very good sword, right? A lot of units can use it, increasing physical attack. Does need a bit of setup, attacking enemies with 3 or more debuffs, increasing the crit damage, and physical attack out of the character's turn. So out of the character's turn, a lot of units can make use of this because of their act again mechanics, or if you're getting the act again from, say, SP Nana's Freedom, or OG Nana's Princess Prayer to act again, or Raid Order. A lot of units can make use of this extra increased physical attack and makes it one of the best swords in the game, DPS wise. And there's so many DPSs who can make use out of this sword. Like, you know, we have Astral, even SP Nana can make use of it, and there's like Lukama, and yeah, just a few units that can have solid use out of this sword there. So definitely a solid one to have. And yeah, S tier. I mean, I don't really see this as an S tier. I see this as a really strong sword, but also keep in mind, we already have a lot of strong swords. Like we have Void Stab, stacking up the crit damage, Newborn Blade, good as a cookie cutter one. I feel like this is a bit further down, maybe on an A tier. Next up we have is Gale Sword. So Gale Sword is actually an axe. I have this on Tristan mainly, just increasing the physical attack. And after attacking, so this is part of the, again, mechanics that this will only trigger after attacking once, and then increasing that crit damage by 21%. So huge axe to have. A lot of units can make use out of this axe. There's like SP Rawia because of her act again from her trait there, Rico with her trait to act again, August with her August with his multiple attack mechanics as well. And yeah, it's just such a good axe to have. Pity it did only come during the SP Rawia banner, so only other way to get it is you have to buy it with Cornucopia fruit. I don't feel like it's really that worth it. 5 Cornucopia fruit, that's 5 months of battle pass just for the Gale Sword. Yeah, I don't know about that, right? But yeah, I do agree, it is definitely one of the top axes in the game. Next up we have here is Nocturnal Glow. So Nocturnal Glow is the best support sword, right? So having this attack and defense 10%, solid option, casting a skill, dispels debuffs, gives them level 2 buff, and also this unique damage 15% buff, right, at 5-star. Have it mainly on SP Sophia, and because, you know, he does cast a lot of skills on the allies. We also can use this very well on SP Nana because she does cast a lot of skills on allies, Light of Convallaria, the Battle Flag, and you can definitely see a lot of use out of the Nocturnal Glow if you're playing SP Nana as a support build, which she does end up becoming more of a support than a DPS later on. So definitely a solid sword for both of them, and I agree, definitely in the S tier. Now, our first trinket here, Shield of Justice. This is best in slot for pretty much like 90% of the units in the game. Really good. Basically a free stat boost, 12% attack and defense. If you have a physical shield, you just need to make sure it doesn't drop, right? The physical shield, if you're not like a frontline tank, probably not going to lose it. So you're definitely getting that 12% attack and defense buff. Like otherwise, you know, we have Hourglass 8%. We do have our like cloak, but we do need to have like no allies around us. So yeah, just having this Shield of Justice is so good, just with the extra attack and defense. You can see I have 3 of them. I only need them at 4-star to take advantage of this 12% attack and defense. Your shield's just a bit weaker, but yeah, having a 4-star, I managed to build 2 physical attack options, and then 1 with the magic attack. And yeah, it's just one of the best Astral Imprints to get. So definitely make sure you have one there. Next up is the Blood Luxite Amulet. So Blood Luxite Amulet, this is Tristan's signature Astral Imprint here, increasing the magic AoE damage, and also when dying doubles it, right? And only Tristan can really make use of this secondary effect. Otherwise, it's just a trinket giving you 10% magic damage and 20% magic AoE. So Tristan, you know, her AoE does convert from physical attack to magic damage. So only good for if you're playing her in an AoE setup. If you're playing her with like a single target setup, this isn't any use there. So the other option to use this is to use it on your magic damage dealers or units that deal magic AoE damage. So I do have a secondary one built up for Marcel or any other mages magic attack there. And otherwise, we do have units who convert from magic attack to convert from physical attack to magic AoE. You can see magic AoE equal to 130% of physical attack. So a good option for, like, say, DPS SP Nana, just doing the extra magic AoE because, you know, the other DPS one is Shield of Justice, and there's only so many Shield of Justice. So that's another option for Blood Luxite Amulet. So yeah, I do agree with that being in the A tier. And next up, we have Great Company on the Journey. So this is our first Astral Imprint we could see here from the Expedition mode. So you can buy here from the Exchange Shop. Technically, it's like a free-to-play grind option, right? Great Company on the Journey. And this is best in slot on Coco. So it's only really for those who have Coco. You know, having the extra HP, the healing effect, and the Dispel. The Dispel is the main thing on Coco. Like, that's one of the things we were really missing from her kit. Like, we were running her with the Empress Tarot to dispel debuffs, but just having this, dispelling one debuff, this is so awesome. Like, having a 1-star is sufficient. I'm considering on pushing this to 5-star, but it's not an urgent thing, and I'm just mainly here for giving that dispel option. If you don't have Coco, or if you don't have Coco 5-star and aren't really using her, then nobody else can really use this Great Company on the Journey. Like, yeah, I don't really see anyone getting much use out of this. It's just mainly for Coco. So I don't know about this being A tier. It's only A tier if you have Coco, right? And you have to have Coco 5-star and be using her. Next up we have is Nightmare Puppet. So Nightmare Puppet, this is best in slot for Convallaria. Huge debuffs and also increases his piercing damage with this unique Nightmare Puppet 3. Nice stat stick, magic attack, HP percent there. And yeah, it just really enables his kit, makes him like do a lot more damage there. It can be also used on Afra, just increasing like her piercing damage, giving her the extra debuff. So yeah, she can definitely see some use out of that. So yeah, we have this here on A tier. Now, if we're moving on here to B tier, we have the Army Breaking Spear. So this is Pamina's best in slot. Like, I feel like it's Pamina's like must must have in slot, because this is the one that really enables her kit. Crit and attack 10%, move, charge, teleport more than 5, increase the crit damage, and also reset the cooldown and energy of her non-instant skill. And it's a 3-turn cooldown, but it makes her that she can spam her ultimate twice. The Onslaught, huge energy cost, huge cooldown, and yeah, just really the bread and butter of Pamina's kit. If you have Pamina, you definitely need to have this spear. But if you don't have Pamina, having this spear, it's kind of just like a stat stick, right? Who else uses spears? Gloria, Xavier, Iggy, Leonide? Like who are these units, right? So yeah, this spear, maybe just really as a stat stick if you don't have Pamina. So, and Pamina is nice, but she isn't really like, she really isn't like meta. So I do see like why this was sort of bumped down. Nobody really uses it beside Pamina, and yeah, Pamina just isn't really used that often there, so we have it down in the B tier. Next up we have is Breath Concealing Ring. So Breath Concealing Ring is for Nidia, right? For Nidia, really nice trinket. Physical attack before using active basic increases physical attack by 15% until the start of next turn. So 20% physical attack increase, basically for basic attacks, and really good for Nidia because she basically just has support, channeling effects, instant skills, and she just spams the basic attack, and that's it. And this makes it really, really good there for Nidia, but not many other units can really spam basic attack. But being a trinket, it does give some options. Like if you're playing SP Ruia as a single target spammer, could come in useful if you just have her spamming physical attacks and, you know, just have all these bunch of support skills, but you just mainly using physical attacks. Could work. I don't really think any other unit would be spamming physical attacks. Maybe Nungol, like, because she has all the support skills and she does have that physical attack, basic attack sort of setup. So she could see some use out of that. But yeah, just mainly for Nidia there. Breath Concealing Ring. Now we have is Dawnlight. So Dawnlight is SP Inanna's Astral Imprint. I did end up getting this, so I actually need to show you guys from the shop here. So SP Inanna's Astral Imprint, Dawnlight. Increases magic AoE damage. After casting support or healing, gives an extra buff, increasing more magic AoE damage, and attack 2. Attack 2 is pretty common. A lot of units can give attack 2. And magic AoE as a sword user, right? A magic AoE as a sword user, it's not really that common. Like, if you don't have it on SP Nana, who else would really use magic AoE as a sword? Like Aisha, maybe? Like, this is pretty much just built for SP Nana. And SP Nana as a DPS does drop off. Like, her DPS is solid, don't get me wrong. But eventually, you'll be mostly using SP Nana as a support setup. With Nocturnal Glow, like, there's just a lot of options for her. If you want to play her as a DPS, you could play her with Crit, with Void Stab and Justice, or Cookie Cutter with just a Newborn Blade. He doesn't really need to min-max that magic AoE DPS. And yeah, just one of the reasons why, you know, I did a few comparisons with Dawnlight, and I just felt like it just wasn't really that needed, yeah? Don't waste your Astral Shards, Cornucopia Fruit, pulls on that. So for me, Dawnlight, I think Dawnlight should be dropped here. Maybe should be another tier, like a B- tier. Dawnlight is further down. Now, next one we're looking at is Dawnmoon. So Dawnmoon is Aisha's Astral Imprint. I did end up getting this one, right? Defense 30%, single target support skill, both character and target gain the Dawnmoon Glow. Extra 25% defense. So what's that? 55% defense. Pretty cool. And then when healing a target, level 2 debuff. But pretty nice. And I mean, it is good for Aisha. Does increase her defensive aspects, can use it as like a defensive sword, but we also have Guardian's Will, which gives you defense when having a shield, and you can stack that with like Shield of Justice and everything like that to generate a shield, and, you know, extra HP, 40% defense, decreased damage. Like, Guardian Will as a free option is pretty comparable to Dawnmoon. Like, Dawnmoon just has that extra increased defense, 55% there on Aisha. If you get a setup, and, you know, with her defense conversion to attack, does make her damage, you know, get increased. But otherwise, not many other units can really make that much use out of this one. Like, defensive option, you know, we do have that Guardian's Will, HP, we have Newborn Blade, and we also have like Sin's Swift Sword, increasing extra HP. Like, just having this, it's just mainly for Isha. And that's about it. For Dawnmoon, I'll also push this one down. I don't think it should be deserving of this like B tier. I feel like these two just aren't really that good. Next up we have is Frostbind Grip. So Frostbind Grip is also in the Lighthouse. So if we go jump into the Lighthouse here, so we have it here with all the other free-to-play options. This is for Agatha, 20% HP. That's a lot for a sword. 20% HP. Like maybe we see some sword users who do have like some sort of HP scaling, increasing damage and piercing up to 20% for every 2 tiles moved. And this is a solid sword for Agatha. So it's essentially built for Agatha here. So if you just jump to Agatha's profile, where is she? Yeah, I use her often. Yeah, so for Agatha. So Agatha currently, like between that Frostbind Grip and Newborn Blade, it's essentially a side grade. Like they both do similar amounts of damage, whether you have Agatha on like a double pentacle HP build, or if you have her like sword, wand, DPS build, it's all about the same. The only change is when Agatha gets her unique liberation, gets extra HP increase, like this does make her HP even more, so that's when Frostbind Grip does shine a lot more. But it is Agatha after all, like you don't really play Agatha all that much, and no unit really needs it besides Agatha. Like it's a sword that gives HP when you already have swords that give HP, right? It's just a bit more, and I think Frostbind Grip should also be further dropped down. At the moment, just only these two are B tier, right? Okay, next one is Hammer, Dragon Rise. So this is Rico's axe. So Rico's axe, I didn't get this one either. So if we have a look here in the cornucopia shop, so Rico's axe here, Hammer Dragon Rise. This is quite unique, right? AoE and triggering strike back or preempt, physical damage increased by 10% for each target hit, up to 30%, strike back and preempt +1, donates 15% lifesteal. So there's a lot of things in this kit for a hammer. And it is best in slot for Rico. But DN have tested DPS on Rico, and with Rico, if you give her like Gale Sword, that's pretty much more damage than Hammer Dragon Rise, right? The only reason that you'll have Hammer Dragon Rise is maybe if you're playing more of a counter attack setup with the strike back and preempt, having the extra +1 could be pretty useful. Otherwise, yeah, just for Rico. And Rico just isn't really used that much, right? Most of you skip Rico. He's just a fun to play, right? Cute and funny. The only other thing is that sword, that axe could be used on, say, Alexi, because Alexi with the counterattacks, more tanky, could come in handy. But who uses Alexi these days, right? The Hammer Dragon Rise, I feel like should go down as well. The next Astral imprint we have is Marcel. Now, what am I clicking? So if we go to Marcel here, so Marcel, our newest delicious in dungeon collab. Having Magic Ladle really enables her kit. After doing an AoE, can move 2 additional tiles, and having that extra move after attacking means that she can click on standby, and that enables her trait, and having 5-star pushes it to a 2-turn cooldown. And this trait, standby, gains 1 stack of full mana, and she relies on this full mana stack to basically get the extra damage and recover energy. So definitely really need to have Magic Ladle for Marcel. Otherwise, if you're playing like a short burst map, don't really need it. Or you could also use other skills like the March command to enable her kit. Another use out of this is, you know, it's pretty nice for AoE mages to hit and run. Like, they attack on AoE and then they move back 2 tiles. Only does that every 2 turns, but yeah, it can become useful. So solid pick for Marcel, and being a utility option, definitely can see it come in handy there from time to time. I think keeping this as a B tier is okay. Next up we have is Nirvana. So Nirvana is Luvata's Astral imprint, right? This also enables her kit a lot. AoE damage, scoring critical hit, 100% chance to inflict ignition, and also create the burning tiles with a 2-turn cooldown. So makes her Meteor Flame double in damage if there is a burning tile, 70 to 140%, And yeah, it's just pretty good AoE option as well, just increasing that AoE damage. Only really Luvata can take advantage of this because yeah, there's not many mages who do have like really high critical hits. And yeah, just mainly for Luvata there. But we can also see this as a utility option to create fire tiles. Like this is pretty unique. Makes a tile burning. And yeah, it just burns anything, right? You don't have to wait for it to become grass or anything. So it could be good as like a like for like cheesing and everything. So definitely can see some use out of Nirvana. But I guess for Magic Ladle and Nirvana, it's more like mainly for Marcel and Levata. So if you don't really have them, these aren't really that good. But if you do have them, these are really good. And moving on, like next here, this should be further down, like Barbecue Hammer. Barbecue Hammer is for Team Meteor, and it's just one of those things where it's like a meme equipment. It's a meme unit with a meme gear, right? Okay, so physical attack 5%, single target on the target's 3 tiles away, additionally increases by 25%. So total 30% physical attack. Seems pretty solid, but Team Meteor doesn't really do much damage. They're more like tanking, right? And the tanking knockback damage, I feel like is not really that high for them. And yeah, just having this doesn't really like it's a nice increase for them. But that's about it. Nobody really uses them, and their damage doesn't really go up that high. So I feel like there is really no point to have Barbecue Hammer there. Next up we have is Cage Mask. So Cage Mask also same as the same Astral Imprint pack. Attack and defense by 6%. So 30%, every 30% of the character's HP covered by a magical shield. Attack and defense by 3% up to 9%. So for characters who have like 90% magical shield, because the max shield is based on your HP, the 90% of their HP as a magical shield, this is 15% attack and defense as a trinket, right? So this is best in slot for Estra because Estra can really push up the magical shield with like, where is it? Magic ward here and everything. Just getting the huge magic shield, and it's nice, right? 15% attack and defense. If we're using something like Maverick's Cloak, 12%, or Shield of Justice, 12%, having that 15% isn't really all that much. Like Estra is really strong, like one of the top single target damage dealers in the game. But he doesn't really have an opportunity to really show off that strong single target damage. There's not really any content that really needs her to do even higher single target damage, and nobody else can really use that Cage Mask. Nobody else really gives magic shields, like Karis maybe, but she doesn't really need anything like that. So it is a bit unfortunate. So Cage Mask, yeah, definitely down here. Dream Turbidity. So this is Afra's Astral Imprint here. The Afra's Astral Imprint, magic attack, 2 stacks of Dream Omen 2. So we could see Doom, magic attack 4%, level 2 debuffs, healing stack. If you're doing piercing damage, character gains 1 stack of Dream Omen Life. It just feels so minor. Like, look at this, 6%, 4%, 8% healing. It just doesn't feel like it's giving Afra that much. And for Afra, you do want to push her magic attack even higher. So I feel like it is just better to give her something with higher magic attack. And this is just useless pretty much on anyone besides Afra. It's even not really that good for Afra herself. So it's just one of the gear that I don't know how they made it, but it just doesn't feel suitable for Afra either way. Like, you know, a lot of us are probably running Nightmare Puppet or just something that gives her like, you know, 10% magic attack just to stack up on her trait and everything with the Labyrinth, which is capped by her magic attack. So just one things for Afra, and Afra just isn't really that used often either. Next up we have is Life Fondness. So Life Fondness, yeah, is for Favia. So Favia's Life Fondness, level 2 buff when casting a single target support. That's pretty. A lot of units have single target support skills, and target is a summoned character. Gives them Life Fondness 2, which is an attack buff, a unique attack buff on summoned units. So there's not many summon units in the game. We have Favia's Plant, we have Akambe's Shadow Assassins, but they just, disappear. Inanna has the Guard, Sophia has a Hangman, who else? Like Luffy with his Bodyguard. Not that many summon units, but it is very unique, right? Just that 30% attack buff. You don't have to have this on Favia. You can have someone else buff up Favia's Plant and give her something that gives her magic attack, because her plant is based on her magic attack, and yeah, that could be a nice use out of it. Maybe we'll get further summon units, but yeah, this is pretty unique, and but it is mainly for mainly for Favia at the moment, so probably won't really see much use for now. Yeah, this I feel like can have potential. Then we have Paradox Crystal Chain. So Paradox Crystal Chain is also in our Expedition Lighthouse. Why didn't that work? So it's in the shop for the exchange. So we can see here, this increases magic attack by 10% when launching a single target attack. Reduces damage by 10% out when it's not the character's turn. Maximum range by 1, magic attack by 10% when launching a single target attack. So yeah, you can pretty much see 20% magic attack, 1 range, 10% damage decrease. This is really for Momo. So it's Momo's like free-to-play version of her Astral Imprint there. And Momo is just one of those older characters, right? At the moment, I have Focus 1, which essentially does the same thing. When unharmed, maximum range, single target 1, 15% magic attack. It goes from 15% to 20% and has minus 10% damage reduction. I mean, there is this unharmed requirement for this, but most of the time your Momo is going to be full HP anyway, so it's not too much of a difference there for Momo. If Momo was like, stronger, maybe this is definitely a slightly increase, but yeah, it just doesn't really see much use there. And now for the Astral Imprint, like which one to get? Like definitely looking at the first one. So the first pack we have here is with, let me get to that. So you can buy with the Astral Shards as well, 200 for a random choice. But yeah, Shield of Justice, we just see that pretty much on every single unit, especially DPS. Such a good option. Blood Luxlight, good for magic AoE. Not really that good, but definitely comes in handy for like a lot of units in the game. And then we have Army Breaking Spear. Like it's just mainly for Pamina, but it could be a nice stat stick on some spear users. So 2 out of 3 is pretty good for this first pack. Second pack we have is Nocturnal Glow. So Nocturnal Glow, really good support sword. SP Nana, SP Sophia, definitely really top units. See a lot of use out of Nocturnal Glow. Nightmare Puppet for Convallaria, potentially Afra, can be a stat stick. 10% magic attack is pretty cool. And Nirvana, AoE, mainly for Luvata. Create Burning Tile, so this is also like 2 out of 3 that you want there. So these are very solid options, so you can see them here in the S tier. Now moving on, I've told you about Barbecue Hammer, just a meme axe, Cage Mask just for Extra, Life Fondness, maybe some potential further on with summon units, but not really that much to see there. So this is pretty much a skip for this with Dawn Moon, Aisha. Pretty good, but nobody really uses this, not in Afra. Nidia might see some pretty good for Nidia, maybe some single target attackers, but this is pretty much a skip as well. And then the last pack, Blade of Stratagem, like you'd have this as S tier here with Garbelius, but I don't really see it that high. Like it's really good, but there's a lot of good swords as well. Same with Dawnlight, a lot of good swords, Void Stab, just really solid option already, yeah. And Hammer Dragon Rise, yeah. So basically, it's just only really these 2 packs worth getting for now. Otherwise, yeah, save up, right? The next pack's going to be with Magic Ladle, Wild Spice Vial, and Samantha's Astral Imprint here, right? So we talked about the Magic Ladle, really solid. Marcel needs this essentially to enable her kit. Wild Spice Vial, Magic Attack, HP, increasing the shield, so could be good for like shielding units. Like Clara might see some use, the very most recent Union unit in CN. Karis might, her magic shield might become a bit more useful. Actually, Karis is actually getting Ascension skills, so maybe that's going to mean something. And well, like who else does shields? Simona, yeah, maybe might see some use. Magic attack and HP 8% is pretty solid. So who knows? Wild Spice Vial might, and yeah, these two should be combined with Simona's Astral Imprint, right? Light to purge all evil. Magic attack 10%. And this effect is basically just for SP Samantha, right? At the start of battle and before attacking, while it's not the character's turn. So specific. Gains a soul, crit, and crit damage increase. That's it. Like, SP Samantha is really, really strong. But this is a very unique Astral Imprint for her. Like, it's what, I don't need to do the calculations, but let's say it's just like a 15% increase to her damage. And 15% increase, definitely really good. But other stuffs, you know, she still does a lot of damage by herself without this Astral Imprint. So it's not really like a must for her. It just makes her win more. And I feel like with Astral Imprints, we need to get ones that have more variety that we can use on multiple units. And like eventually this SP Samantha is going to be power creep, right? So investing in both this and her Astral Imprint just feels like a bit too much. So that will be the next set of Astral Imprints, in my opinion, at least, you know, with the leaks here. After that, we'll have Parzival, right? Parzival, Credenza, and Eucerin. So Parzival 1, initial movement is no more than 3, so most units have 3 movement, increases the movement by 1. Also increases the attack and defense by 9%, gain 3 stacks of Scarlet Armor for each stack, so 3 stacks. Reduces attack and defense by 2% up to 3 stacks. So that means plus 9%, minus 6%. So you're only getting like 3% attack and defense. And then this lasts for 2 turns, right? So second turn, you're actually going to go, what, 6 stacks of this. 6 stacks. Oh, wait, it's only minus 3. For each, reduce up to 3 stacks. So if you're using on anyone besides Parzival, this is only like 3% attack and defense. So that's basically what they were trying to do. Nerf units because, you know, giving that extra +1 movement is pretty unique. So a pretty unique one to have, but you probably don't want someone on the front line because they're going to get reduced. Only 3% attack and defense. Yeah, can work. And this is Credenza's Astral Imprint. Sacrifices 40% HP, restore 1 energy. That's pretty cool, but you know, you do have that lower HP and move 3 after using a non-instant skill. Technically, you could use this for Marcel, right? Sacrifice HP and then move. So this is another option there for Marcel, but yeah, that HP sacrifice is definitely a big one there. So mainly for Credenza, but other units could see some utility uses out of this trinket. So that's a pretty unique one to play with as well. And then the last one in that pack will be with Eucerin. So after character creates item or trigger object for the first time, each round recovers 2 energy, increases attack and defense by 15% until the start of the next turn. So there's a few units that do create the objects. So Eucerin, if we think back, the Ida can create boxes. Gloria, I think a flag does count there. We do have SP Nano with a flag. And further on, SP Nangol does get a lot of use out of this one. So this is a fairly unique Astral Imprint to have. You know, everyone does like having that energy and extra attack and defense, being a trinket as well. So definitely see some uses. I think maybe the future element units might create objects as well. I'm not sure if it was like Yagane or Shinazi might create objects, but yeah, definitely definitely a solid one to keep at in the future with there, the Crimson Quill. So maybe we can save up for that. After that, it's a bit of a mystery. Like we don't know what will happen after that because it's so far ahead. Like we have what Camelot's axe, HP, physical shield, attack. Mainly just for Camelot. Like you could just use a Gale Sword, yeah? It's just an axe, yeah? So it's, yeah, just use Gale Sword. Might be slightly better for Camelot. And then who do we have here? We have a bow for Fatal, extra crit, attacking for enemies within 4 tiles for large targets. Yeah, the 60% crit technically. Like it is what it is. I feel like it's kind of meh, right? And then there's like SP Nungol's one, and then Lukuma's one. I think CND a lot of testing with Lukuma's one, and yeah, Void Stab, and it is pretty much sufficient, right? So not really that much to look for in the future. So it's pretty much just, you know, the Army Breaking Spear, Bloodluck Sight, Shield of Justice, and then get these to 5-star. And then probably look at some of the unique ones. I'm really keen on getting Eucerine's one. I feel like this is going to be the main one I want to 5-star in the future. But yeah, the other ones, I'll consider it. It's going to cost a lot of pulls, and yeah, I think I'll leave it there. Do you agree with most of what Garbulis has to say here for Astral Imprints? But yeah, that's my thoughts. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.